Imagine jumping on a plane, going to a new country, hoping that you see a snow leopard, and you actually end up seeing more than one. If you look closely, you can actually see two mating. Wait, later we'll talk about that. I've always wanted to see a leopard, and to see a snow leopard, it'd be so cool. Unfortunately, it would probably only be this small because they're normally in the distance. But when most people think of India, they think of the tiger. And although they're beautiful, getting to see a leopard, that would be awesome. A lot of people actually don't even know that there's lions in India. But to get to actually see a snow leopard in the wild.
The snow, patch of snow,
Yeah.
all the way on the left of the rocks. He's
Okay,
standing,
let's-
look straight out.
Yeah. No.
He's moving up.
He's over here.
I had no clue what people were truthfully looking at until I saw him moving on the side. I thought I saw him, and maybe I was wrong, but this was my first snow leopard, and I instantly bought that
Yeah, I
stuff.
see him moving up on the left.
What's crazy about my first snow leopard experience is that we drove around this bend in the Himalayas
moving
and we
up
saw
towards
these
the
people sitting
skyline.
there, and then we drove probably another kilometer further, and as we pulled into the parking lot that we were staying in,
Yeah. Is it still moving?
there was a snow leopard in the mountains. Right there. Although it was far away, we legitimately joined the group that was sitting in our parking lot. And we looked at the snow leopard. Can you find him in these pictures? Or videos, I should say? It was far away, but the trip was already worth it. And it
I
only
can't see
got
it
better
moving on
from
my
there.
screen.
This is a much better video of the ibex. This is what the snow leopard was hunting. And there's a blue sheep with him. Our next snow leopard encounter was a lot different.
Yeah,
Don't
I
worry,
got it
I'm only gonna
moving.
show you the highlights. But we had to walk in probably 4 kilometers, if not longer. And there was a slight incline. But because of the elevation in the Himalayan mountains, it seemed to be so difficult. I felt so out of shape, having to stop every few steps. It was crazy. It wasn't until the way back that I actually realized that there was a slight incline on the walk in. I must have sounded so out of shape. And when I got there, all you could basically see was a little head every once in a while. We sat there for 8 hours. It's the longest I've ever waited for an animal. But then, not one, not two, but 3 heads popped out of the rocks. And I got to watch a mom with 6-month-old cubs playing. It was about 30 minutes. It was so magical. I wish I could have been closer, don't get me wrong. But getting to watch them just enjoying their natural habitat. Look, you can see all 3 of them here pretty clearly. Have you been able to spot the snow leopards in the other videos? It is pretty tough to try to spot them.
I'm making video.
We're actually, at this point, 750 meters away. Someone had a rangefinder. That's how I know. And this is pretty close, I'm told. Yeah, you might get lucky and see one as you're driving, but this is a standard encounter with a snow leopard. Okay, maybe it's not standard, because most of the time you only see maybe one briefly. And we're watching mom with 2 cubs playing. You can look and see they're on the rock face right now. It's so cool watching them.
That's amazing.
I honestly wish I could go back and just enjoy these 8 hours of sitting there. It was such a peaceful and blessed time. They brought us tea, we had lunch, and we did enjoy the other animals.
Isn't
There
that
might not
one?
have been as many animals
On the
as,
rock?
say, an African safari, but this was a pretty cool experience. One of the things I would definitely make sure that you bring is a tripod and the best telephoto lens or scope that you can afford. Because most of the time,
Okay,
snow
I see
leopards are
one.
really far away. Make sure you dress for the weather and also trust your guide. I remember thinking at one point, oh, I'm cold and I want to leave.
Yeah.
And so did Andrea. And she actually came and talked to me. And we were both debating saying something. But our guide wanted to stay there. His name was Marub. And he helped BBC filming for their videos. And
is that
he
Mom?
wanted to stay. And I'm glad we stuck it out because a few
Okay.
moments later, Mom and the two cubs popped out. That's why you should always trust your guide. There's a reason that you have a guide. Trust them. This is what they do. I've been in the Himalayas
It's right
for
behind that
2
rock.
days looking for snow leopards in this Ladakh region, and I've already seen 4. Wow. Maybe they're not so hard to see. The reason we're having such luck is there's actually about
Yeah.
1,500 to
I have one of them.
2,000 trackers that are out there. There have actually been months where people don't see anything. But we've got the luck of this trip, and so far we've seen 4 snow leopards in 2 days. And our third encounter with a snow leopard is actually
And so this is a
probably
6 to 7 month
even
old
rarer than
snow leopard?
this one. Yeah, what could be rarer than seeing a mom with 2 cubs? A snow leopard hunting is rare enough, let alone a mom with 2 cubs. So, what could it be? Do you remember that first clip that you saw when you started watching this video? Well, that was actually a pair of mating snow leopards. And I'm positive they were mating because I also have pictures of that
Yeah.
same encounter. Check it out in my book.
Oh, this is amazing.
Some of the other animals that you might see in the mountains are the bighorn sheep. You might get to see a yak. If you look closely, you can actually see the one leopard's head rise, and then he starts to clean himself.
Oh,
I
you can
assume
see
that
the
this is
second one
the
nicely.
male leopard just based on the interactions that I see following. And in this
yeah.
clip, you can see
Yeah.
the female leopard
Okay.
sort of stands up and she starts to groom herself, and I can only assume that there's some sort of auditory communication between the two
Oh, it's moving.
leopards. But we're quite far.
The big
and
one's
can't
moving.
hear anything.
It just laid down again.
But you know that there's something happening because all of a sudden the male leopard climbs over and there's an interaction, and I can only assume that they are about to have intercourse because I also have some pictures of this moment and it's very similar to this. And it was pretty awesome. It was tough to confirm with the naked eye, but once I looked at the video, I was 100%. And then the two of them walked off in the distance, and they walked along the horizon of the Himalayas for quite a while. We actually moved our vehicles to different locations as we were able to spot them and get some decent video. Again, I do wish that we were closer, but wildlife is wild and I like to keep it that way. So I'm pretty happy with the 3 totally and completely different encounters. We got to see a
I see tail.
male snow leopard hunting. We got to see a mom with 2 cubs. And then we got to see a mating pair. That's pretty amazing for 6 days in the Himalayas. What are your thoughts?
They're on the ridge again.
What do you think of this video? I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please check out my books and some of the other videos. I promise you, with the leopards and the lions and the cheetahs and the tigers, that I get much closer. But you want to keep wildlife to be wild. It was truly a blessed experience getting to watch these two cats playing in the distance, and even the cubs playing in the distance. Just watching these elusive ghosts of the mountains running around, having fun, uninterrupted by humans, it was amazing. And with one last sunset, I watched the last snow leopard vanish over top of the cliff.
This is a mating
And
pair
it
of
honestly,
snow
it
leopards.
brought tears to my eyes. It was my last time that I was ever going to see potentially a snow leopard, but I just felt so honored that they shared so much time with me that I wish them the best, and I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and stay safe, and please keep enjoying wildlife. Like, share, subscribe.